Hi everyone, this is Sundays with Caro, except today is not actually Sunday. I'm recording this on Thursday, but I might post it either today or tomorrow, depending on when I get to editing it. So I apologize for that. I'm going on vacation, so I'm trying to do it early. The topic of this week's video is about coming out in the workplace. This is an important video for a lot of people, and I think it generally comes down to two different things. The environment that you work in, and that's an important thing to factor into your decision, and how important it is to you to come out in the workplace. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can come out in the workplace as, and I can really only speak to two of those. I can speak to coming out as queer in the workplace, and I can speak to coming out as gender fluid or non-binary. I can't speak to anything else because I don't have those experiences, and I don't presume to know how anyone else's life is. So I can really only speak to those two different things. For me, I've never really had a job before this job that I have now where I felt the need to come out in the workplace. Most jobs I had were shorter, I wasn't there for as long, and I wasn't as close to the people. I've been working in my job for 3 years, and so I'm close to the people, and it's an environment that I feel comfortable in. I still waited a year before I told anyone that I, identified as queer. I wanted to make sure that I fully sort of knew the company that I kept and how they would react to it. I work in a very liberal work environment, but everyone was very tight-knit, and so it wasn't just something that I was going to come out and say. It got to the point where I felt like it was necessary to come out to at least the people that I was closer to in the office. I'm not out to some people in the office because there's no reason to be. If you work in an office and you're dating someone and you've been dating them for a long time and, it's not, I guess, heteronormative, you might feel more compelled to come out to your coworkers if they're, asking who you're dating, if it's been a while, if you're saying, I'm celebrating a 2-year anniversary and, your office is tight-knit, it would be relevant to tell them. But, at the same time, if it never comes up, it never comes up. So I'm just kind of more of the opinion that it is something personal, but if you feel the need to share it, then, know your audience, and then think about it, and then try to broach it in a topic that is natural, comfortable, doesn't make you feel cornered or anyone else feel cornered. I've never really had to or felt the need to come out as non-binary in my office. It's one of those things that there's no need to mention it, really, or there has been no need to mention it, other than, a few remarks in passing. I don't think anyone really notices the days that I feel more feminine or feel more masculine. They might, and they might never say anything. I've never said anything about it. I think that I don't really have any preferred pronouns, so it's never really come up. I've never had to ask anyone to use different pronouns. I think it really depends on how important to you it is to come out in the work environment. If you are going to come out in the workplace, I think it's very, very, very important to know the laws for the state that you live in or the country that you live in. There are states where you can be fired for being trans or for being gay, and it's important to know the state that you're in and what the laws are, because if it is really heavily important to you to come out as anything in the office and you could be fired for it, I think it's going to be a kind of a cost-benefit analysis of, are you willing to be fired from your job? Even if you don't think it's an option, I would consider it one just for a cost-benefit analysis. And if it is very, very, very important for you to come out, and, if it's that important for you to come out, do you really want to be working in an office that is going to fire you for coming out? I think it's important to try to figure out where you stand on that scale. It is hard to find a job, especially in the job climate that we are in right now, but if it's very important to you, I would suggest at least considering the prospect of, is that a place that you want to work? If you do live in a state where it is illegal to fire someone, on the basis of any of those things, it's important to know your rights. And so first, if you are being harassed, it's important for you to go to HR, the HR in your office, and take it up with them. You can file a claim, a lawsuit. It's important to do that. Those are your rights, and they are in violation of them. If you are fired, then it is your responsibility to go to the courts. And please, please, please go to the courts, because you cannot, if you are in a state where you cannot be fired legally for being gay or trans, you have to go to the courts. Please, please. For your own good and for the good of everyone else. Mostly, I think it comes down to, do you feel safe in your work environment? And that's something to consider always. If you don't feel safe in your work environment, I would consider maybe getting another job. If you can. If you possibly can. Do you feel comfortable enough in your work environment to come out? And, just basically think about your relationships, think about the conversations you've had. They might help you come up with ways to start talking about the topic. One of my coworkers basically said one day that her daughter was getting married to her girlfriend, and I was like, that is a perfect segue. Sort of one day I just was like, oh, by the way. So it's one of those things. If you have a very good friend at work, it might be worthwhile to tell them just because they're a good friend of yours, and that's the kind of thing that you tell good friends if you want to. You can always come to someone on this team and, we'll be happy to talk to you about different ways you can come out, maybe different ways to approach the topic, and we're happy to help you. We want to be here to help you. So please reach out and contact one of us if you feel like we could help you. To conclude this video, I wish you the best of luck. I hope that you find a work environment where you are safe, you are happy, you enjoy the people you work around, you enjoy coming into work every day, and that you are comfortable. And that's the most important part of finding a job. A job is a large part of your life if you're going to be there a lot of the time. And so I just hope that you can find a job that you're safe, happy, and comfortable in. So I wish you the best of luck.